Good morning, Discord. Good morning, YouTube. Okay, let's see what we got. All right. Today we're gonna see if we can make enough money to turn products from Italy that are made in China. Okay, we have the 5-day trailing close by. I did notice that there was a gap around 561.78, somewhere up there. So let's see if we go refill that gap. So if we want to test the 5-day before heading down, so let's look for a rejection of the 5-day. So something like this maybe. Why is it defaulting there? Something like that maybe. But as usual, the setup we're going to look for, so this is going to be the put setup, the call setup. The 5-day should be around here, so we want to look for a break, retest, reject off the 5. That's always going to be a setup. So the premiums are a bit higher. We did notice some significant some downward pressure in the overnight or in the pre-market. So from what, 560 all the way down to 555. So 5-point drop overnight. 5-point drop overnight. The premiums are high. We're looking to see if we tag the 5 MA to grab some liquidity for more downside. That's what we're looking to see right now. Now the volume's starting to come in. So remember, we're looking to see if we tag the 5 MA to grab liquidity for more down, or if we're going to go up, we want to see it break, retest, reject off the 5. So what your risk management needs to look like, if you decide right now you want to, you think we're going to test the 5-day, your stop loss needs to be right at the open. Right at open, so somewhere down 554. That's where your stop loss needs to be. We're going to wait to see retracement before you move your stop. That's if you're making the play on the 5-day from the open. So if you did take that play, when did I say it? Somewhere on this candle, you got to wait for the retracement before you move your stop. So the reason why you don't want to go in late on certain things, because look, if you would have went in early, if you had the idea that the 5-day was in your mind, then you could put your stop loss at damn near 0, right? Very short stop loss. And then as you see retracement, then you start moving your stop. That's just an example. I'm not saying we should have done that. Our best bet is going to be to wait until the structure gives us a setup. That's our best bet. Now let's see if this is going to be our buying channel. So 5 days right here, it's always going to be a target. When we're this close, it's always going to be a target. And then from this, we're going to see if it does grab the 5 day. We're going to see if it's going to grab the 5 day to get some more strength for the down, or if it wants to head up, we want to see it break, retest, and reject off the 5 day. Contract premiums look crazy high right now. Yeah, crazy high. Wow. Jeez, just wait. Now, if you were to take this play here that I said early morning, if you want to test the 5 day, if you're betting on that, now you can move your stop up to your break even, or a little bit more than break even. Yeah, move it to a little bit more than break even, so you can't lose no matter what. Also, if you read the trading plan this morning, I posed the question, are we going to go fill, what did I say? Dang, I forgot. Are we going to go fill 561.32? So that's what that was the thesis this morning. We'll see if it all plays out like that. If you follow the trading plan only, you're already in money. If you only use the trading plan from today, you're already in money. When you get a little more advanced, you'll feel some type of safety taking plays like that, putting a tight stop, because you know exactly where your break even is, right? So you can put a tight stop on this to make this play. When you get more experience, you'll get there. I'm not saying you have to do everything that I do or take every little bit of possibility and make a play out of it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to groom you to understand when I say things, the reason why. Because we saw this same pattern not long ago when it filled the gap, right? So we got two reasons to think it's going to go up. Number one, the 5-day. Number two, we got to fill this gap. Where was the gap? If you look on your 30-minute, somewhere over here. Somewhere over here underneath 561.32. So Discord members, this is why. This is the advantage you get. And eventually, you know, I think we're used to seeing just chart work and the paths that I draw. But, you know, sometimes you got to take a step back and read the bigger picture, and you'll start to see the patterns. That's why I put my analysis in that portion, so you can see the pattern of me saying something, so you'll know what to expect. Or not what to expect, but to have an idea, right? We knew the 5-day was going to get, well, we didn't know, but strong possibility we're going to test the 5-day. Strong possibility we're going to fill a gap going up. So calls wouldn't have been a bad idea. If you would have taken it when I said it, which was about here, your trade's protected. We haven't had a true bear cycle yet, so we'll let this bear cycle develop. We'll see if we're gonna grab some liquidity, if it's gonna be one of these, something like this for the push up to go test the 5-day. The down scenario is gonna be this one's ugly. Hold on. Your safety is going to be somewhere around here. I'll highlight it. Your safety for your puts is somewhere underneath here. This is still 50-50 until here. So if we start getting below 557, wherever my crosshair is, if we start getting below this, that's when these puts start to look juicier. Whenever that happens, if we start to get below this, but if you're making a play on the 5-day, you could be looking for another opportunity to buy the call, right? For that little push, that little burst to the 5. Meaning calls are still in play up until somewhere down here. We'll look for the proper candle structure. It may happen right now, but once you start getting below this, start thinking about the other direction. Once you get below this, then you wait for the setup. There we go. Let's see how much strength this has. So remember, your safest plays are going to be to wait for the play off of the 5-day. That's going to be your safest play. For the put scenario, you're looking for somewhere down here, right? This is going to start to spark your interest. This is going to start to get you ready for the setup. We saw this play out the other day. You know, you can't hesitate on certain moves like this for this reason right here. You can't hesitate. Cannot hesitate on this stuff. Because if you were wrong, the stop loss is very little at this point. Very little stop loss. That's why you don't hesitate. We already saw this play out the other day, actually. It's too easy. Now you protect your trade. Now you protect your trade. If you get in on the very bottom and don't hesitate, your trade's protected. Put it a little bit in profit, therefore you can't lose. A little bit in profit, so you can give it space, because it still has, like I said, all this space for the call to still happen. So I'm going to recap. Remember, your safety plays are going to be off the 5. So you either wait till you test the 5, break, retest, reject for calls, or you look for the rejection, right? We want it to touch the 5 and reject underneath the 5. That's going to be your safety. If you're taking stuff like this, you know, that's on you. You know, you see the 50-50. You just have to put your stops accordingly. Put your stops accordingly. You exercise a little bit of patience. But the liquidity grab is somewhere up here. Somewhere up here by the 5. All right, if you took this flexion, start moving your stop, because we don't know if it's going to be a strong move just to want to touch the 5 and then head back down, or, you know, we don't know. We know we're in a strong downtrend though, right? Overall in a strong downtrend, so we're fighting that. Our thesis is we're going to touch the 5, pick up. So if it's going to go down, we want to see it reject underneath the 5. If it's going to go up, we want to see it break, retest, and reject. That's the answer. If you haven't taken a trade yet, that's good, because we don't have any setups. There's no setup as yet. We were solely using the most likely scenario based on historical patterns of testing the 5-day. So if you took this flexion point, start to move your stop, right? Start to move your stop. You should be in profit now. At minimum, you take some profit, right? Okay, I was doing a lot of talking. I don't know what got cut off, but I know I was on mute for a little while. So listening to the trading plan alone would have given you a 4-point move since the morning. Remember, our puts are going to start looking juicy somewhere over here. Let's see what we got. So if you're in a call, you still have all this room down till down here before you have to start worrying. If you're in a call. I haven't verified this magenta yet. Oh wait, I need to make it a different color. I haven't verified the purple. So remember, if we start getting below this flexion point, maybe start thinking about the other scenario. For sure, down here is going to be our safety. Down here is going to be our safety with a break, retest, reject. Just wait for the 5-day. Wait for the play off the 5-day. Calls is going to be break, retest, reject. Puts, we're going to want to see it, test it, and then reject underneath it. We don't have to take any trades now. Not every day is a trading day. So yeah, our plays are going to be off the 5-day. That just makes the most sense right now. This is just chop. There's no trading in here. Let's wait for the setup. If it moves without us, it moves without us. Oh well. Let's just wait for the setup. No reason to risk any money right now. If you're new, feel free to use my charts in the charts channel in the Discord. The charts are going to be on the left, and choose the time frame you're comfortable with. I recommend having all three. You can get a free TradingView account. I highly recommend you use the charts that are provided. You'll have autonomy to use them the way you know, to manipulate them as much as you can on your own, instead of just using the stream and using me. Use the charts that I provide. As usual, pinpoint accuracy with the bullseye. Pinpoint accuracy. You can't ask for anything better. I think it was maybe 2 cents or 3 cents off. Pinpoint accuracy with the bullseye. This is too easy for us. This is too easy. But you know the target, right? The 5. We need to see how we react off the 5. So if you took this bullseye right here, this 50-50, there it is. It's too easy. Yeah, it's actually too easy. Are we tired of winning? Do we ever get tired of winning here? It's too simple. Look at this money. Look at the money. There it is. There it is. There it is. Easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. Look. Come on. Look. You can't ask for anything better. You can't ask for anything better. I told you when the puts would be, right? Come on. And it hit the target exactly. It's too easy. And this is how we print money every day. You're seeing it happen right in front of your face. If you're new and you have questions, don't sit there quiet. There's some people, because I can't come in here and check the chat often. There are some people in this Discord that are very good. And if you're not asking for help, you know, when I'm off stream, I'll be more than happy to help. But while I'm on, it's a little difficult because I'm trying to provide value. Okay. Excellent move. Excellent move. If you're taking profit here, not a bad idea. If you're on multiple contracts, you know, let it ride a little bit. Excellent move. I think maybe break a blue might be the thing. I'm not convinced on this purple though. I'm not completely convinced on purple. So if you would have taken this first flexion point, I told you where your stops needed to be, right? You shouldn't have. I told you once you get underneath here, I think it was underneath here at the time, then you start thinking about cutting chalks. This is how you make money. You have faith in the system. I'm telling you exactly when to get in. I'm telling you, you know, there's only so much I can do. At some point, you're gonna have to let those nerves about seeing the red candles. If you're buying a call and you see red candles, you're gonna have to let those nerves go at some point. You're gonna have to stick to your plan. Or if you don't have a, you know, listen to what I'm saying. When I'm telling you where to put your stops, I'm telling you when to move it. It's because there's a system in place and a process that if you follow it to a T, it's impossible to lose. But that'll take time. You'll have to, you know, learn yourself, learn your trading, how you trade and what you're comfortable with. Eventually, when you hesitate too much, you'll be frustrated, and then you'll learn to not hesitate. Then you'll learn to place your stops properly. Then you'll learn to chase your profits. But you know, you gotta, it takes a lot of trust in the system to do that. If you're just taking losses and getting stopped out, it's because you're because you're not following the strategy, right? The strategy is below the last low is where your stop should be. Matter of fact, I highlighted it. I specifically said when to start thinking about cutting chalks if it gets below a certain level. think I like the blue. I'm not convinced with this purple. So if you printed, you know, don't get greedy. Take your profit. We'll wait for the next setup. If you're holding, tighten your stops here. You can't be any more pinpoint accurate than this right here. It's just, I mean, could I have been? Sure. but damn, I mean, geez, come on now. I drew this flexion point up. I drew a bullseye. You know where the puts are, somewhere down here. There's nothing more I can do. There's nothing more I can do. I specified with the shoulder where the puts would be. I specified if we get below this, in between here and here, we're in no man's land. There's no trade. Right, so I'm specifying where there's more likelihood for a trade, greater likelihood for a trade on the puts, right? On this one, I'm specifying where the likelihood is for the calls. So if you're in between here and here, there's no trade. Now, if you took this and you're like, okay, momentum candle, you got in late. See, the longer you wait, now you see the risk, how much risk you have to put on now. So that's why you can't hesitate. The less you hesitate, the least amount of risk you have to put on as far as your stops. And now look, the rejection off the 5. Come on, this is see, when you get advanced, you can already, right? You already know. When you get to your advanced stage, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can set this stuff up far in advance. You'll know what's going to happen. You know when to cut your chalks. You'll know when to go in on the other side. I'm telling you, we can get every single dime out of this market. It's very simple. It just takes patience and a little bit of trust in the process. You have to be okay with, like, all right, I took the trade here. It stopped me out for $20, $25. Now you should be confident in what the next leg looks like. Right? So sometimes you just gotta wait for that. We already knew rejection off the 5 MA. Printing. Don't chase this right here. Do not chase this. Wait for it to hit this. The proper structure on this is going to be what I would like to see to hit this purple, which I haven't tested this purple yet. Hit this purple, come back up to underneath the green, and then continue. If it just drops out under here, then it just drops. If you didn't get in on the rejection of 5, it's too late now, right? There's no trade here. Wait for the setup. The safety is going to be somewhere down here. Somewhere down here is going to be your safety. If you didn't already take rejection off the 5, which I said in the what do you call it, in the analysis portion, remember the pattern we're looking for now. I like it to dig a little bit deeper, a little bit further down. I want to test this purple because I don't know if this purple's a thing. It looks like it's close, but I don't know if this purple's a thing yet. Now your safest calls are going to be, again, I'll draw it out again. If this is your 5-day, whenever we break, retest, and reject off the 5-day, whenever that happens, if it happens, I don't know. But your call scenario, your safest one is something like this, okay? Don't say I didn't tell you. That's your safe one. If you're taking gambles in between then, there's nothing I can do about that. This is why I told you I wanted to wait. Don't go in on puts just yet. I wanted to wait. I need to see more for the down and rejecting underneath this green. I think I like this green. That's why I said to wait for the puts. This is exactly why. And let's say it were to dump, then we miss it. Then we miss it. If it dumps right now, then we just miss it. Because that's not the setup we are looking for. So if you can have high conviction in your setups when they play out exactly the way you want them to, then you have high conviction in them. If they're not playing out exactly, then, you know, that's up to you if you want to take the risk. Just be patient. We don't want to risk any money here. We'll wait for the proper setup. You're not missing anything. You're not missing out on anything. We knew that the 5 was going to be the target from open. We knew we needed to fill a gap. Let's see if we fill that gap. Gap is almost completely full. But we knew we had, you know, 2 objectives. Hit the 5-day and fill that gap. Now there's a 50-50 here, right? There's a 50-50. If we get down to here and reject, I don't know. If it's here, I don't know if it's going to continue or if it's going to continue down. I don't know which way. That's why this is a 50-50. So that's why I'm telling you, your safety, somewhere underneath here. Your safety for the calls, somewhere above here. That's the answer. If you're in here and you're trying to make a play, this is, you know, to me, that's the riskiest. Only because we don't have any structure to set up yet. That's why. And if you didn't take a trade today, then you don't take a trade. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't look back and say, oh man, I could have made money here. That's not how you have to view this business. You can't look back and say what I should have, would have, could have done. You have to apply your business, right? Whatever your business plan is, apply the business plan, or else you'll never know if it works for you. So it looks like it's going to be break, retest, reject off this blue. If you want an earlier indication or notification, let's look for a break of this blue. I'll highlight it. But then even still, you want to see it, break the blue, maybe test the green, come back like that, right? Off the 5-day. So in between here, you're stuck in no man's land. Yeah, so I like the break of this green. Break of this green for puts. So we're not going to start thinking about puts until break, retest, and rejection underneath this green. So I put this 558.40 to see if we're just going to start bouncing in between the 5-day and this 558.40, which would tell us that the green may be an indication, but the 558.40 will be the confirmation of the break, retest, reject for some further down. So let's look for this for the safety, okay? Now, if you're taking the break of blue, you have to protect your trade. You have to protect your trade. If you're taking break of blue, you should be at minimum break even. You should be at your break even because we know there's a lot of liquidity here. And we don't know if this pullback right here is just giving it strength for the down, because we saw the rejection here. So is this a pullback for more strength down? You don't know. We don't know that yet. That's why you have to manage your risk appropriately. The calls, the safest call is going to be break, retest, and reject of the 5-day. If you're going off break of blue, you know, that's the indication. But the confidence is going to be what I have drawn out here. So break of this green is going to be your indication. Break of this is going to be a little bit more confirmation. I highlighted it a little bit. So to recap, your safest calls: break, retest, reject of the 5. So breaking this green is one indication. Breaking this 558 is going to be your second sign for some more strength for the down. Let's look at the higher time frame. All right, if you took break of blue, you're in profit. Remember, see how I've highlighted break of blue, profit, break, retest, reject off the blue, preferably above the 5. That's our preferences, above the 5. But break of blue, you're safe, your trade's protected. Trader's protected. If you took break of blue, your safety is your stop loss should be underneath the last low. You waited for the retracement, and now your trade's protected. You move it to your break even. You can't lose. You cannot lose. You should actually be able to collect a little bit of profit here. You can't lose. I have it highlighted, break of blue, right? Break of green for start thinking about down, break of blue, start thinking about up. Still can't break the 5-day. So let's see how long we're going to grind inside this green. Yeah, there's no trading here. Don't feel like you have to be in a trade. There's no setup here. We know what the setup is. The break, retest, reject off the 5. Nothing's changed. Or if we start getting below this green, nothing's changed. Maybe a bearish divergence coming in right now. There was one that came in a little while ago, around what time? 10:06, but ended up being a fake out. So here's a double bearish divergence coming in. Rough day today, rough day. Not every day is a trading day, and that's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. This is just chop. If we missed a big move, we missed a big move. Oh well. Whatever's going to happen, it'll be clear. The market will make it obvious. Don't try to force anything. Don't try to force the reversal here. Don't try to force a continuation. We know what it needs to look like. Okay, if you took break of blue, if you had the 84% rule back to the break of blue, you're in profit. Take your profit when you can. Don't leave money on the table. We're still inside this magenta buying channel. Let's see how we react off this green right here, off this top green. Let's see how we react. There it is, break of blue, right? I highlighted it. I told you I want to see how we react off 561.28. Here's the reaction off of it. I highlighted it. I drew a path to show you what it needs to look like. There's nothing more I can do. Nothing more I can do. It's up to you. Now we want to see, is the 20-day going to be in range, or did we finally we still have a couple more cents to fill this gap. Oh no, we filled it. I believe we filled this gap. So alright, the gap's filled, which we called. The test of the 5MA, which we called. So is this going to be the break, retest, reject? We don't know. That's what we don't know. Or is that bearish divergence finally going to play out? No man's land. If you didn't take the break of blue, then I don't know. Don't know what to say. Alright, looks like the buying channel broke. We want to see how it reacts to the 5. Buying channel broke. If it just dumps right through the 5, then wait for the break of green as well. See how we reacted perfectly off this green? Perfectly how there's a reaction. Now I know this green's a thing. That's not an accident. That's an on purpose. What's the tallest bridge in Texas? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's funny. No, today's a tough trading day because look at all this chop. There's no real structure, you know? There's no structure here. We know what the setup is. Somewhere down 558.40 and break, retest, reject off the 5. We already know. We already know what the setup is. And for this play off the 5, I like to see a stronger move up. I like to see it stay inside this magenta for a little bit longer. Let's see what we do here. We don't have to chase every candle. We do not have to chase every candle. So if we drop straight through the 5, start thinking. If we get past this green right here, then you wait for the setup. What does the setup look like? The break, retest, and rejection underneath the green. If you're taking this right here, that's, you know, that's the risk on you. Right? If it just touches the 5 and dumps from here, we don't know. Just like it did over here. See the rejection? Are we seeing the rejection under the 5? Don't know yet. Just be patient. This is still technically chop, right? This is all chop. There's nothing, there's no structure in here. There's no setup in here. They're trying to shake everybody out. At minimum, green for the puts. Minimum. So if we start rejecting underneath this blue and underneath this green, that should tell you something. If we start rejecting to the underside underneath the blue and underneath the green, that should start telling you something. If you didn't take any trades, there's nothing wrong with that. I actually, based on the fact that there's no structure really, everything was a 50-50 shot, or, you know, strictly from the trading plan, me reading tea leaves. So if you didn't take a trade yet, there's nothing wrong with that. That's probably the most prudent thing to do, because the setups we would prefer didn't present themselves. So don't feel like you're missing out on anything because, you know, you saw some flexion points you could have got some money out of. That's not how you view this. That's not the business of this, right? Just to go off of, oh, well, a 50-50 shot. I had a 50-50 shot. We don't like those. You know, that's not the ideal. The ideal setups are what I'm drawing. These are the ideal setups. And if they don't present themselves, oh, well. Or if we miss it, oh, well. There's another one around the corner. Can't be wrong twice in a row. So if you're thinking, is this one a momentum candle off of 560.28? I understand why you say that, but you have to understand that you're up against this blue now. Now you're up against the blue. So if you're going in on calls here based on this momentum candle, you have to understand your resistance is going to be right around this blue. So just wait for the proper setup. What does a proper setup look like? Some strength off the 5 and then retesting it. That's what the proper setup looks like. Now, could it just be this right here? It could be, right? But the proper setup, what we want to look for is for, you know, maybe a testing of a key level or just some more retracement to go off of. If it shoots up from here, it shoots up. If you don't want to take that risk, then you don't want to take that risk. All right, let's see if we break high a day, which is going to be around my dotted line. That 5-minute chart hit. Look at this 5-minute chart. Hit to perfection. Okay, let's see what the next setup is on the 5. You see why I told you the rejection underneath this blue? That's what we're looking out for. That's why I told you. Wait for a stronger move before you start buying calls. Because we're looking out for this. And if it were to shoot up right now, then we miss it. Oh well. I'm telling you what the setup looks like. Not this little, you know, tiny couple change off the 5. We need to see a stronger move. Right? You see the rejection underneath this blue? Now if we start rejecting underneath this green, time to start thinking. Time to start thinking. This is why we wait for the setup. You have to treat this as a business. You don't just gamble and say, oh, well, I think it's going to go here. Sure, you can try that. Sometimes it works, but I don't recommend it. See how we're just dancing at the 5? There's no trade here. You wait for it to gain some strength by moving up, reclaiming that strength, and then continuing forward. Just give it time. Give it time. Not every day is a trading day. Look at it. There's no trade in here. There's no trade in there. This is all we do see right here. This is all we see. That's all we know so far. Let's see how we react off this purple. But this is such stagnant movement. There's no setup really. There's no setup. You can't trade in this. Alright, now we're going to test to see if breaking into the purple forms a buying channel. Let's see. The volume's so low. Can't do anything right here. Don't force anything. And now you see what a slow grind up looks like. Don't try to call the reversal too soon. The 20 is at 564.20. The 20-day MA is not far away. So now we're thinking, are we going to ping pong between the 20 and the 5? Is that going to be a thing, staying inside this green? We don't know, but we know we don't have any structure set up. Oh, today is a boring trading day, which is fine. The boring ones are good too. Why? Because we preserve the wins. Win preservation. But we do know we have a slow grind up within this green. That's what we do know for sure. We look to be in a firm uptrend, so you're probably looking for call setups. Until we get down below 558.40, don't even think about puts. If it dumps right now off this purple, then that's just lucky. I wasn't too sure about the purple, but it seems to be holding some strength here. All right, so if break a blue again, now break a purple for your break a purple should be for the confirmation, I guess. But let's see if we get a strong move. Let's see if we get a strong move here. Okay, break a blue off the 5-day, break a purple. We're in our buying channel. Let's see if it has any strength here. I don't know if you could see this wedge that was forming between this purple and this green right here. So once it broke one way, see this wedge? Here, I'll highlight this green. The wedge between here. See this wedge between purple and green? Okay. Now we got some strength. Remember, break a blue, right? That was a signal. Rejection off of the 5, that was a signal. We started this buying channel, another signal. Now if you're waiting for calls, wait for the retest and rejection. This would be, you know, the stronger move that I'm talking about. This would be a stronger move, right? That would be ideal right there. If you're waiting on the calls. If you didn't get in on break a blue, or if you didn't get in on a rejection of the 5, or if you didn't get in on break a purple, this would be the next setup. What you should want it to look like. At this point, you're going to be FOMOing in. Remember, the setup was break a blue, break a blue, break a blue. That was the setup. If you got in on this original break a blue, you're in plenty of money now. Remember, I told you we're looking for long entries because our put scenario is until all the way down here. Take your money when you can. Look how nasty that candle is. That's a nasty candle. That is a nasty candle. Now you should be asking, is this the pullback we're looking for some more up, or is this gonna break through the 5? So there's no trade here, right? Because we don't know what's gonna happen, or you don't even have an indication of what could happen. So just give it time. Give it some time. You're contending with, for your puts, you're contending with this green, you're contending with this green, and you're contending with 558.40 for puts. So once we break this green, a little confident. Back inside this purple. Break this green, a little more confident. Break this level, a little more confident, right? You see how your confidence levels raise. Now your reward decreases, right? Because if you're trying to call the reverse right here, then you get all this money if it does go down. But you can increase your confidence once we start moving down for puts only. Now again, we're in an uptrend, so do you really want to fight the trend? Do you want to fight this trend? That's what you got to ask yourself. I don't like trying to call reversals. Very low volume environment. Very low volume. It just started at 11 o'clock Eastern, so maybe compression time, slow grind up for the rest of the day. Sideways, maybe in between the 5 and the 20. That 5-minute chart hit though. That 5-minute chart hit. Days like today, you're just buying a contract and holding it and seeing which way it goes. So today would have been a good day for a what do you call it? A straddle. Right? You buy your call and put it at the exact same time. You put your stop loss very tight, and then look, one of them runs. Easy. So you take the what? The $30 loss here, maybe $30, and then you would have made a lot. A lot. I'll spend another few minutes on. We made a little bit of money today. We made some money. But really good environment to see the slow grind up I've been talking about. Sometimes it be like that. Don't even start thinking about puts until we get underneath this green here. Don't even think about it until we get underneath this green here. And not just underneath. I want to see it like this. Like underneath, right? Something like that. All right, I'm gonna spend another maybe 5-6 minutes on here. Five-minute chart hit to perfection, to absolute perfection. All right, let's see if we start rejecting underneath this green now. So if you took the initial break of green, your target has to be at the 5. Your safety is going to look like this. Let the 5-minute chart guide you on this one. So if you took the initial break of green, your trade's protected. If you're on multiple contracts, you're getting out on break of blue. There it is. Right back at the 5-day, touching right off the 5-day. That's why we want to break, retest, and reject underneath. That's your safety. It should look something like this, which the 5 should coincide with the green. All right, I got like 1 more minute. Let's see what happens. We want the green to break and we want this to break. All right, green broke. Didn't close yet. We got 12 seconds on the candle for it to close. Didn't close yet. We don't want it to be a wick. We need this green to break. You get firmly below this green. If you're taking the risk from here, put your stops tight. I was supposed to be gone 3 minutes ago. Curious to see what happens now. This is our setup. Let's wait for the setup. Let's wait for the setup. Let's see if we start rejecting underneath this blue again. Because look at our 5-minute. Look at our 5-minute. This is why we wait for the setup. Don't force anything. Okay, I got 2 more minutes and then I gotta get out of here. Use the 5 minute to guide you if you're still gambling. If you're still gambling after I leave, use the 5 minute. We're still really strong in the green in the buying channel in the 30 minute. So at minimum, wait for the green to break. Possibly rejection underneath 561. That gap has been filled. So are we going to fill the gap and go and shoot off? Or are we going to fill the gap and reverse back down? So last time it was a gap fill reversal where it filled the gap and went back down. So now we filled the gap. Comfortably fill the gap. We're going to see if we fill the gap and go, keep going up. Or if we fill the gap and reverse. But we're also contending with the 5-day and the 20-day. You see why I said to wait for the break of this green, retest, and rejection? This is why I said to wait. Which would also coincide with the 5. This is why I said to wait. Don't force anything. Because now you should be asking, was this the break, retest, and rejection off the 5 right here? Again, we broke purple, broke blue. Let's see how strong this buying channel is. See if we got any strength in it. Target 562.99. This is why we wait for the setup on puts, right? It needed to break below, retest, and reject. If it were to break and just dump right there, then we missed the move. But this is the setup for puts, right? I told you we've been looking for long entries because we're in an uptrend. Look at your 5-minute chart, right? Look at your 5 minute. You knew where the puts were, somewhere down here. So you shouldn't even be looking for puts until we get, I even highlighted it, somewhere down 560. This is how we trade safely. We don't need to risk anything. You broke the purple, you broke the blue. If you win it on calls or break a blue, you're in profit. Your trade's protected. Right? We know the target is going to be 562.99. We're in between the 5 and 20, so it's going to grab liquidity from each one before it makes the move. Okay, I would love to stay and see this play out even further, but I have to go. I'm sorry. Okay, but we had some good wins. You know what we could do? We had some solid wins in here. If anything, we learned some lessons for today. How the market could just do this to you all day, or however long it's going to take. But I'm going to hang out on the Discord for a little bit when I log off, see if you guys got anything for me. But use the 5 minute